Hey, and welcome back to a very overdue video, if I do say so myself. So, I wanted to do some editing, and I know I said at the start of the year I wasn't going to do that, but I have so many pictures that I really want to edit, and I thought, why not make a few videos to take you along for the process, because I really enjoy watching these single edit videos myself. So I thought, why not bring it to you guys, because it really allows you to understand just the process in bringing each of these pictures to life. Now, I've picked 3 particular shots which I'm pretty proud of, so I know you're going to enjoy it. But if you do have any questions, as always, in each of the videos, just let me know down below. And without further ado, because we don't like long intros, let's just get straight into it. All right, let's get stuck into it. So the first picture is this lovely little picture of a bird. It's a blue wren, or a fairy wren, and as you can see, it's very, very clear, and it's right in the middle of singing, which I was pretty stoked to get this shot. So, I mean, you wouldn't believe it, but I was. So anyway, let's start editing this shot. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is going into a crop, because obviously it's such a looks so far away, but you know, I wasn't 200mm, but these birds, they do tend to want to fly quickly, like you don't really get much time with them. So we're just going to crop in as much as reasonably possible, just to really bring the focus on the bird. And as you can see here, it's still pretty good. Now, it is going to be a bit small, like in terms of like the quality of the image, but when it does come to this type of thing, you know, I'm not going to be blowing it up to be massive. It's just, that's the reality of the sitch. So first thing we're going to go is into develop, and we're going to go into putting in some smart contrast, very, very light smart contrast, I must say. And then we're going to pull the exposure down just a tiny little bit. We're going to pull up the shadows and then pull in the highlights, and then that is quite a nice base to start with. Now, once that's done, just bring in the blacks a tiny bit, pull up the whites, and then we're going to go into the curves. You know, when you do these videos, you just sort of realize you're actually going pretty quick, and you've got to slow it down. Just slow it down. It's an edit video. It's not meant to be fast. Who wants to watch someone smash through a picture? Especially when you get in the zone, you just know exactly how you want to edit it, but I'm showing you guys how to do it, so it's different. Anyway, saturation at 7. These are just minor adjustments at the moment. So, now that we've done that, I'm quite liking this as a base. So, the next thing that we are going to do is we're going to go back to the develop, but because it's Luminar, we do have to tell it that we're finished with develop. So I'm going to pull in a vignette, which I'm going to go pretty hard. I'm going to go to a 69. So that just allows for you to see that there is an obvious vignette, but it's not too much that you look stupid, because we don't want to do that. So we're going to go back to the develop tab, and we're going to go into masking, and next we're going to go into the brush. Now, everyone has got the AI options for masking everything these days, but call me old-fashioned, call it what you will. I do like to paint the mask every so often. Not all the time, because, you know, it can be a little bit too much sometimes, but, you know, sometimes you just want to do it the old way, because it's nice, you know. It's nice to do this, and sure, it's not perfect, but, you know, who's going to be the mask police? Probably no one, because at the end of the day, as long as the picture comes up nice, that's all that really matters, eh? It's all that matters. And you don't have to be perfect. I think that's the biggest thing I've learned with this whole photography thing. You just have to get it to where you want, like what you want, where you want. Get it to that and you'll be happy. That's all it takes. So, now that we're in that, we're going to be pulling up the exposure. And as you can see, I have stuffed up the mask a little bit, so to fix that and to counteract it, we'll go back to masking, we'll go to erase. And see how I've lightened it up, so you can really see where my mask is. Now, if you just left it on normal and you left it as where you liked it, which is probably going to be sort of there-ish, you can't really see where the error is. So I'm going to go all the way up like that. Gives you a really clear idea as to what you've stuffed up. And this also goes for the AI masking. Like if you have done it that way, AI masking is generally going to stuff it up as well every so often, because you know it's not perfect, and nor should it be. So at the same time, it's nice to know these things and just to understand where and how these masking tools work. And this is a little hack. This is how I do it, and it just allows you to really refine what it is you are working on, AI or no AI, because you know, I do like using it, and I will definitely be using it in this series quite a lot. But you know, sometimes you just got to get old school. You know, just got to get old school. So back to adjustments. We're going to bring it back down. Nice there. So we can already see a pretty big difference in that. And then we're going to pull up the shadows. See, there isn't a huge amount of shadows. It's more in the blacks. So again, we pop up these blacks, and then we're going to go and pull down the whites, because that area, that overexposed bit, is really sensitive. So just going to pull that back as much as reasonably possible. Now, if I zoom that out, turn that off and on, we can see I've done quite a lot of difference. But really, if you look at this, you know, adjustment tab, I haven't actually done that much bar the shadows. So even if you turn the shadows off, it hasn't changed a huge amount. So it's comforting to know that you don't have to do a huge amount to make it really pop. Now, I did talk about not using the AI, and I'm already going back to the AI. So we're going to go to the super sharp AI, because honestly I use this all the time for like everything, especially when, well, not all the time, not everything. I use it for all the pictures that are a slight tiny little bit blurry, or have had to crop in quite heavily, like this picture. So we're going to go universal super sharp AI low, and we're going to let that do its thing. It's going to do its thinking, and that's just going to really enhance that picture and allow you to get a little bit more. It's going to stretch that picture just a little bit extra, which is, you know, it's what we want, providing it doesn't crash. Cool, so that is done. So you can already see just that little bit. It's sharpened up just a tiny amount. We don't want to go too hard. It's more just about really giving it that extra stretch of detail. There's the bird with the super sharp. That's the bird without it. So it's giving it a little bit more life, if you ask me. So that is this bird, this image, more or less done, more or less. But we're just going to go in and we're going to do a couple of little things, a tiny amount of stuff, and then we will move on to the next picture, which will be part 2 in this little series. So we're just going to add a little bit of a dehaze, not a huge amount, and we're going to pull in the foliage, because as you can see, there's a little bit of green here, and it's just want to bring that right up. So going to go pretty hard and go at 21, and I'm pretty happy with that. So if we look at the before, that's it there, that's the after. The only thing I want to do, I know I just said I'm done, but we're not. The next bit is we are going to go and we're going to go for the masking, and we're going to go brush. But just bear with me. We're going to paint the bird again, and then we're going to invert it. So we're going to go back to brush, mask actions, invert, and then we're going to see the adjustments. So we're going to be able to pull this right down like that. Now the idea of this is to make it a little bit darker. Really, it's just to pull in just those shadows, and really just we want to make the bird pop as hard as we can, like as hard as we can. So we're going to get brush, we're going to just go erase, and we're just going to check that we have done a little bit of the bird. That's fine. That's why we check. We don't want to make the bird say goodbye, because he's here to stay. And that goes there, and then we're just going to go in here and paint back the tail, because these birds have got pretty impressive tails. So just a little bit. You know what I mean? Just a tiny little bit to give it that extra something. And I think we're pretty much done. So this is the before shot, and this is the quite spectacular after, if I do say so myself. All right. If you did enjoy this video, I hope you did. I really hope you did, and you're going to be sticking around for part 2, which will be next week's video. Then I'll see you in that video. But if you did like it, do let me know down below if there's anything in particular you want to know about why I edited it in the way that I did. I will get back to you. But otherwise, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, or, you know, don't hit the bell. Do whatever you want, really. But if you enjoyed it, let me know, because I'd appreciate that at the end of the day. And I'll see you in the next video. All right. Bye.